My personal shopper at Nordstrom scanned my credit card and quietly said, "Ma'am, this card was reported stolen last night." I froze with a blazer in my hands. What? That's impossible. This is my card. She didn't look up from the register. I'm required to call security when this happens, but before I do, I need to ask you something. My heart pounded. Ask me what? She glanced toward the entrance. Did your husband give you this card this morning? The question hit me like ice water. How did you know that? Because he reported it stolen at 11 p.m. last night. I'm looking at the timestamp right now. I stared at the black Amex in my hand. Ryan had handed it to me over breakfast with a smile, telling me to treat myself. Said I deserved it after the week I'd had. Why would he report it stolen and then give it to me? The shopper leaned closer. In my 8 years working luxury retail, I've seen this exact scenario 4 times. Husband reports card stolen. Wife uses it the next day. Wife gets arrested for fraud. Husband plays the victim, files for divorce while she's dealing with charges, and takes everything. My stomach dropped. That's insane. She showed me her phone. This is the fraud report. Filed at 11:04 p.m. The card was reported stolen from a vehicle downtown. We were both home at 11 p.m. Then why would he file this? I had no answer. Ryan had been acting strange lately, taking calls in other rooms. Last week I caught him looking at bank statements with this weird expression. What happens if I use this card? Security calls police. You get arrested. Your husband shows up shocked his wife stole his card. The fraud report was filed 12 hours before you used it. Timestamps don't lie. I felt sick. What do I do? Leave. Now. Go home and check everything. Bank accounts, credit cards, property documents. Fast. I dropped the blazer and ran to my car, hands shaking. I drove home 20 over the limit. When I pulled into the driveway, his car was there. He wasn't supposed to be home until 6. I found him in the living room with his laptop. The second he saw me, his face changed. You're back early. Find anything good? I held up the card. Why did you report this stolen last night? What are you talking about? The shopper scanned it, flagged as stolen, reported at 11:04 p.m. yesterday. He stood slowly. That's impossible. Then why does the fraud report exist? Someone must have filed a false report. Happens all the time. The report says stolen from a vehicle downtown. You told me you were home all night. Something flickered across his face. I was home. Who filed the report? Half a second too long. I don't know. We should call the bank. You're lying. His jaw tightened. Excuse me? You filed that report. Gave me the card knowing I'd use it. You were setting me up. The warmth drained from his face. You're being paranoid. That shopper told me she's seen this scam 4 times. Husband reports card stolen, wife uses it, gets arrested, husband divorces her and takes everything. He stared at me, then smiled. The coldest smile I'd ever seen. You can't prove any of that. I can. You're holding your phone and Bank of America is open on your laptop. I walked past him and looked at the screen. He tried to close it, but I was faster. The fraud claim form, still open. Filed at 11:04 p.m. But that wasn't the worst part. Another tab. Divorce papers, already filled out. Filed 2 days ago. Being sent to my sister's house next weekend. You were going to have me arrested and then divorce me while I was in jail? Ryan didn't answer. He just stared at me with those empty eyes. I took photos of everything with my phone. The fraud report, the divorce papers, the timestamps. Then I called the police myself. I'd like to report credit card fraud. My husband filed a false stolen card report and then gave me the card to use, attempting to frame me for a crime. Ryan's face went white. The operator asked me to stay on the line. I watched Ryan realize what was happening. He tried to grab my phone, but I stepped back. Don't touch me. 2 police cars arrived within 10 minutes. I showed them everything. The photos, the timestamps, the divorce papers, the fraud report still open on his laptop. One officer looked at Ryan with disgust. Sir, you're under arrest for filing a false police report and attempted fraud. As they put him in handcuffs, Ryan looked at me one last time. You ruined everything. I watched them drive away and then sat down on the couch, still shaking. My phone buzzed. A text from the personal shopper at Nordstrom. Did you check everything? Are you okay? I typed back. I'm okay. Thank you for warning me. You saved my life. She responded immediately. That's what we do. Stay safe. I filed for divorce the next day. Took half of everything. Ryan's sitting in jail now, facing charges for fraud and filing a false police report. All because a personal shopper at Nordstrom decided to tell me the truth instead of calling security.